That was a great episode. And now let's tune in for the conversation.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into SCAD TVfest. For 10 years, SCAD TVfest has brought the best of TV and the artists behind it in an international audience of students, fans, and aficionados. My name is Lynette Rice. I'm from Entertainment Weekly. Today, the festival welcomes the cast of Ghosts, and it's my pleasure to introduce them. If you guys wouldn't mind, just raise your hand, let the folks at home know who the heck you are. First off, Utkarsh Ambudkar. I hope I didn't mesh. He plays Jay. He plays the one guy who doesn't get to see all these lovely ghosts. I feel for him. Brandon Scott Jones. He plays Isaac.
Hi. And she left us. That's it. We're on our own. We got to do it ourselves.
Okay, I'll take it up.
After take up half people.
They said talk over each other, so here we go.
Richie Moriarty, I play Pete.
Danielle Pinnock, I play Alberta.
Asher Grodman, I play Trevor.
Is it me? Roman Saragosa, I play Sapis.
Sheila Carrasco, I play Flower.
Rebecca Wasaki, I play Hetty.
Devin Shannon Long, I play Thorfinn.
And we have our showrunners and writers. We have Joe Weisman, raise your hand, please. And Mr. Joe Port.
Hello.
Joe Port.
Hi,
and then
everyone.
also not here with us today is Rose McIver, who is out of the country taking a much needed break from all of us.
Okay, can you see me now?
We got
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Lynette, you missed a lot, Lynette.
You dropped out.
We actually did the whole
We
thing.
introduced everyone.
Yeah. Lynette, now I think it's time for you to introduce yourself because I think we've all forgotten. Lynette, what are you doing here?
I write for Entertainment Weekly magazine, so it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for going on. Did you ask yourself any questions too, or are we done? Okay.
Real tough ones, yeah.
All right, let me start with the Joes. And by the way, since there are two of them, do y'all have a nickname for the showrunners? Do you call them Joe Squared, or like what's the talk on the set?
Just the Joes.
Joe's.
The Joes. Okay.
Port and Wiseman.
Can you guys explain
Port's
this?
got a new nickname. We call him the Big Tuna. He's from
That's
Altoona.
true.
And so we call him Big Tuna now.
Altoona, Pennsylvania's favorite
Big
son.
Tuna. Yeah.
All right, can you guys, obviously this is based on a format that ran overseas. Can you explain, how does that work with the format? Are you free to use whatever you want or only so much?
I mean, yeah, I think we never really had that discussion. We loved the British show. CBS sent it to us and said, is this something you'd like to think about adapting? And we watched the first 5 minutes and immediately we're like, we're in. But I think immediately we started thinking like the American version would be different just because it takes place in America and there's going to be a different set of sort of historical either archetypes or people to choose from. So we just knew it was going to be different because story comes from character and we were going to have different characters and we would start following them. Our first two episodes are similar story-wise just because I thought they just did such a clear, great job of setting up this premise. And then in the second episode, getting the livings on board with Rose's or Sam's new power. But from there, we just sort of started talking about character and where, their backstories and what these people want and interesting things that could be, mined from their past. And that's why we've, I think gone our own way and sort of like, are different from the English show, which, like I say, we love, and hopefully we made them proud.
Yeah. Also, last year we did 18 episodes. This year we're going to do, she left again. We're going to do 22 episodes.
This is so dope. It's all us now.
Yeah, we got rid of her.
We can ask each other questions.
Well, just to continue answering that, the British show does 6 episodes a season. So, obviously by desire, but also necessity, we have to branch out and go our own way and set our own path. And, we like to do that.
And this is a question for Joe Port. Port, in your experience with this show, because we know you tripled the output of the BBC version in one season. We have a large cast of characters here, all different personalities, POVs, different walks of life. Who did you guys find at first to be the most challenging character to write for on the cast?
Oh, that's interesting.
That's a great question.
Hey, Lynette, I will say,
Inside the actor's studio over
I will
here.
say, to be honest, your character of Jay was.
I knew it, Lynette. Welcome
Well,
back. Thanks a lot.
Your character of Jay presents a writing challenge every week because you cannot talk to 8/10 of the cast. So, but it's, I think we've found some creative workarounds and that have led to some of our best episodes, trying to figure out ways for Jay to communicate, like the D&D episode where Sam helps facilitate him playing Dungeons and Dragons with the ghost, and the possession episode, which was so funny, where you channeled your inner Rebecca Wasaki.
Yeah, it was awesome. Just inside scoop, like maybe a few weeks before the Joes, Joe and Big Tuna had come to me, and they were like, "Do you think you could do an impression of Rebecca?" And it was very offhanded. It wasn't like you gave me a plan or anything. And I was like, I mean, out of context, yes, I think I could probably.
We thought it just was a request for general mockery.
I mean, I had a clue. I had an inkling of what might be to come, but you guys really, that's been exciting to see Jay come into his own as a member of the Ghost. But alternately, who have you found early on was the most charming character to write for?
I'm not answering
the question.
all of them.
Why? Well, it's not about actors.
Charming, the most charming?
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
like the easiest. Whose voice, Joe? I'm going to guess Joe Port has got a lot of Thor in him.
Thor is fun to write. Everyone in the writers' room does their own very different Thor impression. Some sound like the Hulk. Some sound like that Sean Connery. I feel like that's sort of maybe who you're doing.
Sean Connery.
Yeah, you guys got me. I've been doing Sean Connery this whole time. Ashwards for 5,000, Alex. The whole time.
He's been
you
doing Will
just
Ferrell.
nailed it.
Oh, it's so funny.
I'm steamed.
I'm glad you brought that question, because I was curious first to start off with you. What is it like being in a room full of these ghosts and you have to pretend that they're not there? I mean,
well, Lynette, it was very hard for Joe Port and Joe Weissman, as we learned while you were gone. It was hard for them to sort of figure out what to do with me. And I think we all have figured out, I don't know. We
all figured out what to do with me.
I mean, my job is to just try not to laugh. And then when they say cut, it's the most fun ever because we're all together. And then we can all make each other laugh. And we have a great rapport on set as people. I think we've all really learned. I mean, we're still learning and we're getting better every day. But from where we started to where we are now, the strengths and weaknesses of each other, the communication of this group as actors has improved every day. We're all, I think, simultaneously supportive, extremely supportive, fiercely loyal, but also we're frank with each other about our needs, which is really helpful in any collaborative, especially ensemble situation. So, when they say action, I have to pretend I'm not having the time of my life. The good news is they also say cut, and then I can go back to have.
And there's no eye contact. You can't look at anyone in the eye. You're like a freshman walking down senior hall the first day of high school. Like, do not look anyone in the eye. And then when the bell rings, you can interact. But
the good news is I can look directly into camera whenever I want.
There is something like what Rose, like the 8 of us get to bounce off walls and do whatever we want, but the backbone of this thing is what Utkarsh and Rose do. Rose's ability to do a scene with 8 people who are there and then 8 people who are suddenly not there, and then UTK's ability to not listen to 8 people, which is really hard, and we don't get to do any of the fun that we get to do without them doing that. So it's a heavy lift. And
I wish we had outtakes of Rose actually having conversations with 8 people that are not in there, because we're not in the room for certain takes, and she has to talk to all of us on these eye lines. And a lot of actors, struggle when we do like a self tape, and you have to make believe someone off camera. Well, she does it as her job with 8 people that are not there, and we're like in another room saying our lines, and she's hitting all of her beats and doing everything perfectly. It's a masterclass.
Or worse yet, we're 2 feet away from where we're supposed to be, and she can't look. She has to look at air instead of looking at where the sound is coming from, and do that 8 times is madness.
Yeah.
We got to pay tribute to her since she's not here. I mean, she did some serious physical comedy in the first couple episodes in particular, starting with falling down the dang stairs, and then she runs into a wall. Was that her? Was that a Rose body double?
Don't tell her, guys. Don't tell her. Doesn't matter, Linda.
Okay.
We'll never know.
The stunt person who did it was incredible. Like, I watch it still, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So that was not Rose. But she does do a lot of physical bits, and she's very gifted at that.
She loves to say how not funny she is all the time, but she's hysterical and a very naturally gifted physical comedian for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe,
I was going to say, just really quick, a really fond memory of the pilot is in that moment where the stunt woman's falling down the stairs. We were also filming the very opening scene of the show, which was where like the old lady was, or the woman was ascending into heaven. And I remember we would have to pause, and then we would all turn, and we would just see this like Rose facsimile tumble down the stairs violently. And then we'd be like, oh, wow. We like applauded. I think we have raw video of it somewhere.
We do. I have a video of it. And the funniest part about it is that none of us expected it to be, I think, as violent as it was or like as convincing as it was. So we're in this scene. We look over and see this woman like legit tumbling down the stairs. And I remember on the video we have, like the little behind the scenes video, all of us are like, oh my God. Yeah. And we just had no concept that it was going to be, that she was going to sell it in the way she did. It was amazing.
To the Joes, I have one more technical question. It feels like you had some heavy lifting to do by the second episode to basically explain why this couple is sticking around this house that the rest of us would want to spend another second in.
Is that true? Would you really want to flee? It's such a nice house, Lynette.
Gorgeous house, but I mean, obviously it's a comedy and you make the ghosts out to be okay. But if somebody was talking to me, I mean, I wouldn't be able to, did you feel like you at least had to address that to get over that hump when the majority of us would like be yelling, screaming out the front door?
Well, I mean, I thought the biggest solve on that front is just that she sees, and the British show did this too. She sees ghosts wherever she goes. So, I mean, going back to New York would be a hellscape probably. So, you know, these are at least the ghosts that she knows, and she gets to live her dream of opening this B&B, and it's going to be hard wherever she is. So I think was our thought process on that.
Okay. All right. So now I want to pivot to the ghosts. So when you all are together, you look like you have such a blast. And I'm obviously talking about what I see on TikTok as well. I'm eager to hear your first impressions of one another. And Rebecca, I'm going to start with you. You pick somebody out of the ensemble of a first impression, what you thought of them when you first.
It's natural. When you think of TikTok, you think of Rebecca Wasaki.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's
you should be going to Danielle. Wait, what's the question?
Your first impression of some of these folks that you work with, because you all seem like you've been buddies forever, but that can't be the case.
No, I think Lynette is trying to break us up.
Yeah. Giving me a first impression of one of your cast members.
Well, the very first table read, it was honestly, it sounds schmaltzy. It was naturally electric and like great. And I fell in love with everybody. And that sounds like it can't possibly be true, but it was really, really, really true. Did everyone else feel that way? Say yes.
Yes.
I mean, really, one of these people is
nice.
cast so perfectly. There's something that is inherently like natural and unique about it, to all these characters and the actors that are playing the roles. Again, shout out to our casting directors, Tannis Valley and Liz Barnes. And, everyone just feels very, also that they can really be truly themselves in this environment. It's a really nice family, and it feels like a once in a lifetime experience in terms of an ensemble, because it's an old school, ensemble comedy. You don't get those on television very often. We know how lucky we are, I think, is what I'm saying.
Sheila, how about you? What did you think of like Brandon and Richie?
This is a problem. I don't like this line of questioning at all. No.
What was that first thought when you saw them on set?
So handsome.
Oh, come
So
on.
handsome and so funny and so nice. Everyone was truly so kind. I honestly didn't know I was meeting actors on a set. You know what I mean? It felt like you were going to your favorite improv class or something, and you're in class with just cool colleagues that are just so nice, and you can't wait to get to know them and have fun. And I had a couple of friends in common with Richie. And so I had been told like, oh my God, you're going to love him. He's so great. He's so great. And I'm like, oh, they're just saying that. And then I met him and it's true. And, same with Brandon and same with everyone else in the cast. Like what Rebecca said, I just want to echo it. Everyone.
You thought I was lying, Lynette. I could tell in your follow-up that you thought that there was something out there.
Oh my gosh, Ramon, what about you? What did you think of Devin?
Oh, of Devin. I think one of the first things I was intimidated, man. He's a big guy. And he's hilarious. He's so charming. And I was like, oh man, this guy's taking my spotlight. All right. No, he's such a nice guy. And he plays football for University of Oregon. I was living in Eugene. So again, I was kind of like starstruck there because football players over there are just like so cool. He's just awesome. He's my brother. And it's wild to think about, that pilot episode because I was the last one to join the cast and I was cast like a week before. And it was quite a journey to get down from Eugene, Oregon. I had to drive down because I couldn't fly. And it was just, everyone's so kind, just amazingly good-hearted people.
True story. You know how like they say when you go to prison, like you got to take out the top guy or else you won't survive. Like our first day, we broke for
Really?
lunch.
They say that?
Broke for lunch, and I'm having a very polite lunch and just keeping to myself. And Ramon comes up and sits next to me, doesn't say anything, and then starts eating my food off my tray. I'm like, this guy. I was intimidated by Ramon. And then like there was this moment I wasn't sure if he was going to shake me or not. And then he looked at me and he said, everything's okay. And ever since then we've been best friends. And I'm on his team. Like I got his back. Like
it's right. We were just trying to get in character. Sass and Thor were together for a long time, and so I was just trying to build that rapport quick. And
right at me, took me out. So I want no sticks in this fire.
So when did it all dawn on you that, and was it maybe in the pilot that did you kind of go, oh crap, we're going to be wearing these costumes all the freaking time? I mean, when did it click off? Asher, why did you start?
Yeah, the costume question always comes here. I knew it before. The second I got the job, I was like, okay, this is going to be, I had never done a comedy before. So to be honest, wearing no pants ever was kind of, was good news for me. Cause I was like, well, the pants, the bare legs will take care of the comedy. So I don't have to.
He's got his legs are hilarious. You just look at them.
Yeah, they're so funny.
Start laughing.
These nice old Jewish legs.
How do you even walk?
Did you have to show your legs in the audition, Asher?
Yes. Good
No, but I did, and this is, I don't think this is kosher, but I did receive self-tapes when I got the job from other people who auditioned for Trevor to show me their legs, which I thought was a little weird. So there's a nice little image for you.
What a wonderful bonus. It turned out that Asher Grodman has some of the best gams in the business. Weren't you so excited, Joes?
Asher's headshot is just his hamstrings.
That's right.
It's a leg shot.
That's right.
And then CBS has insured his legs for $1 million.
Yeah, Lloyd's of London.
And I think I can tease this now, right? Because it's coming. There in a few weeks. Pants will be on, and the mystery of pants will be solved.
And does that mean we will see a costume change forever?
No.
The ghosts can't ever change. But we're going to do a story, and we're going to learn why Trevor did not have his pants on when he died.
Okay, good. I'm glad you said that because I was racking my brain. I can't remember the episode that ever dealt with why he has no pants.
Wait, isn't that actually the title of the episode, Trevor's Pants?
It is indeed the title of the episode.
Oh, and do you have a war story about, doing your job with no pants? I mean, how's it been?
I think everyone in the cast has a war story of me doing my job with no pants. I don't. I think they're all scarred for life. It is strange. UTK prefers that I change right in front of him, which I think is weird. But the rest of everyone, they hate
This guy sits down, Lynette. He, for some reason, forgot how to cross his legs. He just bare under thigh all the time. The man sits. Oh Lord of mercy! He sits like a tree frog, just
like he's riding a buffalo every time he sits down. Just.
There's no reason for it, Lynette.
There's a lot of reasons for it.
I will say, Asher, I loved when you had the basketball pants and you just ripped those off every time before a take. That was way more exciting than what you do now with just like sliding off your sweatpants. It's kind of
fun, but then I would have to rebutton them every single take.
Yeah, that was fun.
Maybe we can get someone for whom that is their job expressly for next season. Can I request that to be the basketball pants reveal?
That sounds like a season 3 thing, I think.
Oh, yeah, you got to go straight to the network with that.
His costume provided one of my favorite moments. There was an unplanned moment in the pilot when the Sam character first sees him and he runs back excitedly to tell them. And he's like, I forget the exact word, but he lifts his hand. And in doing so, his shirt kind of lifted up and everyone kind of like reacted. And we actually were able to keep that and blur out. And
Sheila had the best reaction.
Yeah.
I was like, where is it?
I thought we were friends. And then I saw that reaction.
She was just, hi.
Richie, how many people have you hooked with that dang arrow?
I thought you were going to say, how many people have you hooked up with on set?
It's a natural progression.
How many people?
I will only answer the question I thought you were going to ask, which is 2. No, I have definitely. I've almost blinded multiple people. We actually swapped out the tip of my arrow, I want to say mid-season-ish, for like a foam tip because I got dangerously close multiple times. So now if I poke someone in the eye with my arrow, it'll only sort of harm them. It won't make them go blind. But it's hard. I mean, we travel as a group, the ghosts, so we're on top of each other all the time. So, if someone leans in to whisper something to me and forgets I have an arrow sticking out of my neck, they get a reminder very quickly.
That happened with me. I was just like, Richie's right here, and I'm just like trying to like say something to him real quick. I'm not looking at him, and it hit me right in the temple.
That's right.
And I was just like, oh my goodness, thank goodness I didn't look at you, or else that would have been could have been a different story.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Danielle, this is for you. So did you feel a pull to watch the BBC version before you started this?
Yeah, absolutely. Fun fact, I was a replacement. So I got the call in on Zoom and I was like, okay, yeah, let's do a screen test on Zoom. Cool. I was in pajama bottoms the whole time. It was the best audition experience of my entire life, to be in a whole fur coat and house shoes, like living my best life. But I love the BBC version. I think it's fantastic. I watched the entire first season and I kind of just stopped there, but I think what we're doing in the American version is so fantastic as well too, and we've superseded all the episodes that they had in their first season. And people, I mean, I think the thing that's funniest is online, the UK fans were like hating on the show heavy on like TikTok and Twitter.
Really?
Oh my gosh, they were like, this is gonna be the worst show ever.
Before it came out, yeah.
Yeah, like before it even came out, I'd be like, yes, Alberta, and they're like, F her. And I'm like, my God, what's happening?
We were underdogs. Yeah.
We have big shoes to fill.
Yeah, we have huge shoes to fill. And now everybody is unanimously across the board in love with it, except for the people on CBS that want us to save MacGyver. But I mean, we can't do nothing about that. But it's great to be loved by across the pond in here as well.
But the rest of you, did you all binge it? Do you feel like you should?
Well, I didn't have a very clear counterpart, so I felt comfortable watching it for the tone and just fell in love with the show completely and all of the characters. But I know some of my cast members had clear ones, and I totally understand their choice to perhaps not watch it. That's a segue.
I have a very clear counterpart, and I did not watch a lot. I watched the pilot to get a sense for tone and story, but Jim Howick, who plays Pat in the BBC version, is so funny, and I didn't want to watch too much and feel like I was doing an impression of him. But such a great cast over there. I mean, they're all incredible too.
They've been very generous with us, and I watched the whole thing. I'm like, okay, I'll watch one to get a sense of tone and do my homework, and I fell in love with it, and I couldn't stop watching it just as a fan. And I knew that we would have a different flavor and a slightly different sense of the music of it, and I knew that my approach to being the woman that built the house, would be totally different as well. So. It's a great show. Anyone who loves our show and who hasn't seen the BBC version, I think would enjoy watching it.
The Joes, I have to ask you, were there logistical problems with making a permanent character out of the headless dude? The dude who...
I mean, it was not necessarily logistical, but it's like we have a really large cast, so we like Crash, and he does make certain appearances this season. But as far as technical or whatnot, no, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Okay. Before I want to get to some student questions, but I do have one little I don't know if it's going to be spoilery, and this is a question for you, Brandon. We're going to find out, if we haven't already, about Isaac's sexuality. Is that what I understand? And can you tease a little bit about where we're going with that? And the Joes, and as an extension of that, I imagine it's going to be the same for everyone in terms of not their sexuality, but we're going to hear more about their backstories as the many seasons go on. Let's start with you, Brandon.
I'm excited. Yeah, there's I think it's already been teased a little bit in the show that Isaac has a love interest, or somebody that he is struggling to come to terms with, and with his feelings. And I think, as we move forward, we might see a little bit more of him and Nigel, who's played by John Hartman, a British ghost. And I think I'm really excited. There's something really exciting about, I know that just from a personal experience as a queer man, coming out of the closet when I did was already struggling, and I only had to be in for 20 years. So somebody who's been in the closet for 250 years coming out of the closet, to me, feels like darkly funny, and then also very, very emotional, which is fun. And what's even wilder is that it turns out he's into chickens. Just kidding. No.
Oh my God.
It's not what you think.
Nigel's a chicken.
Thank you, Brandon.
It's bestial. But I think that and so I'm excited about that. And similarly with a lot of other characters as well, the deeper relationships we get a chance to see with not only who they have. I mean, we have a will they, won't they between Alberta and Pete, and then we learn a little bit more about my shipping of Sasapis and Thor. So that's my own thing. So I'm really excited about that. I hope people respond well to it.
Joes, what do you think? I like that shipping idea.
There's a number of relationships that are sort of bubbling and percolating. And the Nigel and Isaac one is something that is going to be a really fun thing to watch unfold. And there's just some beautiful scenes. There's one between Rebecca and Brandon in an upcoming episode where her character helps him deal, and it's going to be sort of it's been an arc that we've been following this season, and it's really been nice. And Brandon's been really helpful too, and had a lot of input. And as far as it's so great to we have this large cast, obviously, and it's fun to just sort of everyone take their turns, and we advance the ball of each story a little bit down the field, as we kind of unravel the mysteries of their lives and why they're in this sort of unresolved situation that they're in now. And I think, you know, it's fun for the audience to get to see that stuff unfold, and for the characters to learn more about themselves, facilitated by the arrival of Samantha and Jay, you know, who are kind of this new element in this mix, helping them to figure out, you know, what might be the thing that helps them move forward.
All right, I want to run some student questions by you. Okay, here's question one. This is for the actors. This question: all the ghosts are played beautifully by the actors, and it's impressive how they distinguish themselves individually. The question is for the actors playing ghosts. Sorry, Akash. If you had to play a different ghost than the one you have now, which one would be the most fun, and which one would be the most challenging for you? Let's start with you, Devin.
Isaac would be so much fun. He's hilarious. I like Isaac's character a lot. Isaac gets to like, can I say the S word with the HIT?
What the hell?
Isaac gets to shit on everyone, and it's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, we smell it all the time.
But Rebecca's character would be the hardest to play by far.
But we're nearly alike. We joke about that all the time. That Isaac and Hetty are very similar, kind of. You think it would be hard?
The cadence at which you, if I were to try to do what you.
That was good.
It's a musical symphony, and it's just like there's no way. That's my vote right there.
Rebecca, you go next. That's true. You sometimes, a lot of times when you deliver your lines, it's like you're singing a little aria. I can hear it in your.
Brandon Scott Jones likes to mock me mercilessly for just talking about the musicality of the scene.
It's the musicality of the scene, the musicality. But it's just that the musicality of the scene, the musicality.
Well, it's important to me.
I know. It's my favorite thing. I love it.
I do think of this character in particular that way. And a lot of it has to do with the impediment of being in a costume that literally restricts the amount of breath that I can take in at a certain amount, at a time. And again, I back to Utkarsh and his amazing channeling of Hetty. He is a musician. And I think that's one of the reasons that he did such an incredible job, is that he understood, yes, the musicality.
The what?
Who would I find most difficult to play? I would find it hardest to play Flower, because my innate, temperature.
Musicality?
If you will.
She's a little off key, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yes, and also I tend to enjoy structure a lot more than Flower. I think I would find it hard to just chill out that much, and you do it so beautifully, Sheila, and it doesn't seem like a caricature. But I would find that, for me, with my particular skill set, I think I would find that the hardest to do.
I would love to
enjoy playing the most. I would play Trevor.
Oh,
go ahead. Sorry,
Sheila, you go. Who would you? Who's challenging in your eyes?
Well, I think both the most fun and the most challenging, Lynette, might be playing Pete, actually. I think that it would be so lovely to be like so friendly all the time, but it would be so challenging to also make him really, truly funny, especially as funny as Richie does. And his timing is impeccable. He's so awesome to work with on set. He's improvising all the time, but he's also really staying true to the heart of the character and the show and the moment in the scene at all times as well. And it's really impressive. So I think playing Pete would be really challenging, and he does it so well.
Oh, thanks so much, Sheila. That's so nice.
Richie, though, you have the baton now. How about you?
Okay, great. I think I would love to play Alberta's character. I think Danielle is so epically funny in this role, and I think she's made what was a great character on paper so much more three-dimensional and really funny. She's just deeply funny in it. So I think that would be such a fun role to tackle. I probably won't, for a number of reasons, but the other, I think I'm trying to think of, like, what's the other half of this question? Who would I like to play, and who would be the most difficult? Is that the other?
Yeah.
I think Rebecca's character is really difficult too. Another reason why I'm like so impressed by her. She does it so insanely well. She's so much funnier than she thinks she is. And I think it's a really hard role to play. And she just executes it to perfection every time. It's such a joy to watch her perform on set. She's just incredible. Big fan.
That's very, very nice. Thank you.
Asher, how about you?
Ooh, I mean, I think all of these roles are really, really hard. I think from a technical standpoint, I think it's so hard to do Flower because the rest of us can kind of rely on each other to get moment to moment. She's like half in another world and then half with us, and creating a through line in that is an incredibly hard job and a thankless job. It's just so hard. I couldn't even begin to wrap my head around that. I think it's just really challenging. And in terms of fun, I mean, it would be fun to try Isaac. I don't think that I would be able to do it, but it would be fun to try.
Now, Ramon, I feel like you'd want to play Thor. What do you think?
You know, I'm going to definitely jump on what Sheila was saying. Like, I think the most challenging and most exciting would be Thor for me. Devin is so fun to watch. He's so big and loud. I think it's so fun because like Sasapi's, a lot of the time I'm very low to myself, or I'll just like set out like a little zinger and there it is. But Thor is just so commanding, and I think that would be kind of like challenging for me, but also would be so much fun. It's so fun to watch Devin work, and like he's in it from, you know, his first coffee in the morning till we wrap at night. He's Thor, and it would be fun to kind of be like that for a whole day.
He's very method. He eats raw meat.
Yeah.
He is very method. Devin, I mean, how's your throat at the end of the day? Because you really get down there. You're very guttural all day. How do you feel?
It's cool. Once we get going, I'm fine. It's like always like the first day, if I've had a break for like a week or something, the first day after, it's a little bit raspy. But after that, things just kind of find their way.
So do you think you have the bitchiness job, or would you prefer to play Isaac?
I mean, I like Thor.
Oh my God. And lastly, I want to ask you, Danielle, is there someone you would, if you had to play somebody else, who would it be?
Without question, Trevor. I want to just be in a shirt and a pair of Spanx all day, air it out. I would be living my best life. Are you kidding? And then I think the most difficult would probably, it's a cross between Flower and Pete, because Pete is so, I mean, both of these people are just masterclass performances, everybody in the cast. But how Pete is able, how Richie's literally able to just keep positive when we be throwing rocks at him all the time, and to keep that up, but have such depth. And I just, bravo across the board. And Flower is literally in her own universe. Sis is like, we're on A, Sis is on Z minus squared. And I just love Sheila so much. And I think the thing with Sheila, and I want to just hype her because that's my bestie in the cast, is
what?
She is a fun, sorry, y'all know this.
Oh,
y'all
no, we do not know this.
Let me get that on
Well, Lynette, you succeeded.
You know I love y'all, but you know Sheila's my bestie. Sheila is an expert character actor, and being able to watch her on, like, literally to see her do what she does and to tap in, it is a marvelous, it's fantastic.
Real quick, hold on.
Thank you.
When you asked me about playing Isaac, you meant like if I had to play another character instead of Thor. I thought you meant like, do I have to choose between Thorfinn and Isaac? I was like, well, I have to take Thor. Is it?
Oh, no,
Isaac,
you have
my
a choice.
second choice outside of Thor. I have to take Thor first.
I would like to know who the Joes would want to play.
That's it. That's good.
Well, I do want to say that, you know, when you're casting a pilot, it can be frustrating. You see like hundreds of people come in, and you know, you want everybody to be good. You're like rooting for the people to be good when they come in, and you know, a lot of people are great actors, but they're not exactly right for that particular part. And every one of these people were like the one person who came in and were right for that part, you know. And it was just like, as we were, you know, filling out the cast, I just kept going like to Joe, like, wow, do these people seem like really good for these roles? Like this doesn't usually happen, you know? And it was just, and you know, they mentioned that table read earlier Rebecca, I think, mentioned that it was sort of magical. It was the day, it was like March 13th. It was that day in March of 2020 when everything got shut down, and we got shut down hours after that table read. We were supposed to start filming in a few days. And what was remarkable about that, though, was I do think that just fueled CBS and all the people there and gave them confidence for the next 9 months till we eventually shot the pilot, because they had that tangible, memory in their heads, because they actually saw it, which even though it didn't happen that moment, it was just so advantageous and helpful for us that we were actually able to present it.
Good, Karsh, I feel like we should let you play. If you had to pick a ghost, which one would you want?
That's very kind of you, Lynette. Thank you for including me. I'm going to be honest.
The drama.
I checked all the way out. What was the question? I'd be happy to play anyone, truly. I think the thing is they've all everyone here has created such strong frameworks for a character, the POV. Like for me, it's like Rebecca says musicality, mine is point of view. I know how each of these characters sees the world, or in Flower's case, doesn't see the world. And it's like, and then once I know the groundwork that each of these actors has set for their own roles, it'd be just super fun to dive in to any one of them. And getting a chance to play Hetty for an episode was super fun. And, if there's a world in which Jay for half an episode or one line or one moment gets to see all of the ghosts around him, that I think would be like hugely fun for the fans, and probably would boost ratings, and maybe even give us an extra season or two. I'm not sure. I think everyone's salaries, especially the showrunners, would go up. But from where I'm sitting, I'm pretty stoked. It's honestly just such a pleasure when everyone's on set to see where this ensemble, because they all work together, how they've each come into their own, and more importantly, learned how to collaborate with each other in such a harmonious and positive way. Like a lot, you don't see it on screen, but behind the camera, the amount of work that this group has done to build the company that we have is to be applauded, for sure. It's not easy. We're all grown-ups. We all have our own issues, and we all come to work, and we've found something really special. So it's really cool.
All right, I got to wrap it there. A big virtual round of applause for all our panelists. Thank you all at home for your participation today, and enjoy the rest of the SCAD TV Fest. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, SCAD.